Hello everyone and welcome back to the Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2025. It's your boy, Chaos, as always. And today, we're finally getting back over to the right side of the bracket. Right up at the top right over there, we are going to be seeing Naomi versus AzureHorizon today. And I'm quite excited for this one because Naomi and Azure are both very, very skilled competitors. They've been in tournaments throughout the years of Anime Villainous existing. So two heavyweights, as it were, in this matchup, and I am pumped to see how this game between them goes. So let's get right on into it. All right, and so here we go with Tournament Arc 2025's fifth match in round one. We actually already had the dice roll. I was a little late starting my recording, my bad. But Azure, known as Outlast Duo 570 on Steam, has won the roll, so he gets to go first, and he is going to ban Merrick, which makes a lot of sense because Naomi is well known in the community for playing a very, very mean competitive Merrick. Incredibly good at Merrick. So, makes a lot of sense to ban. And then we're going to see Naomi ban out Diaboromon, which is, I believe, one of Azure's go-to picks these days. I know he played... who does he play a lot? Loxus, Crocodile, and Diaboromon, I think, are really up there. And so we're going to see Aizen versus Ainz, Battle of the AIs. Except played by actual people. I didn't realize how that would sound until I said it. But Ainz versus Aizen, so this is a PTV matchup. Very interesting one. I feel like Ainz probably likes this matchup, especially getting to go first. Because Aizen, unless he can get an early Rukia and really get to work on... Aizen always wants an early Rukia, of course. But Ainz likes opponents that are not great at fate pressure out the gate. And Aizen is not great at fate pressure out the gate because, of course, his top fate is locked. Aizen does, however, like going to his fate every other turn, his bottom fate every other turn. So... that will probably help him a lot in being able to put consistent pressure. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat. Being able to put on consistent pressure against Ainz, but also, unless Naomi can get some pretty strong early fates against Ainz here, then Ainz can really take advantage of the locked top fate to make a lot of progress fast. Ainz is at his most susceptible at the start of the game. We are going to see Naomi take the reshuffle, or the mulligan for going second. And it looks like we're setting up our clock, and then we're ready to go. So this is going to be very interesting. I do think that Ainz has a pretty favorable matchup here, but you never know with Aizen because a lot of Aizen's game comes down to working out that Rukia timing. Ooh, Ainz starting with the Staff of Ainzulgown and a cash shop item out the gate. That is a very, very strong start for Ainz. Naomi is immediately on a serious back foot, unless Naomi could immediately hit Rukia here, which would be horrifying for Azure, but very funny for me. Very funny indeed. Naomi is putting a lot of thought into this first turn. Naomi really likes to take her time and think. It's part of what makes her such a good competitive player. I'm not used to it. So all the other matches we've had just far, people just like zoomed their turns by so quickly. I'm so used to like not having time to say everything that I want to say, and now instead I just have all this time in the world I have to fill up dead air with. There's not a whole lot to talk about at the very start of the game like this. So we're going to see an immediate complete hypnosis. Ooh, it's a big... oh my goodness! 3-power hypnosis Rukia off the rip. That is... no, why do you turn it sideways? Why would you do that? I hate when people turn this stuff sideways. That is insane. The incredible Ainz start has just given way to an incredible Aizen start. Holy cow. There was nothing Azure could do about that either. If Azure decided to fate turn 1, all it would have done was cost Naomi 2 power. Because it would have been a visored play. And an immediate air gate into Gin. Oh my goodness! This is the most cracked Aizen beginning I've ever seen. You know, there are some people in the community that think Aizen is underpowered. Do you see this first turn? This is why... An immediate Gotai 13, not a hero pull on that is crazy. But, yeah, probably put away Yami here. Really, put away the Betrayal. Interesting. I wonder why. There are no heroes out or anything, so it's not like Betrayal was going to do a lot right now. I guess it stopped shuffling back in like a Gotai 13 on the Betrayal play. But Aizen, when he's a bit of an RNG character similar to Merrick, which it makes a lot of sense now that I'm saying that why Naomi is playing Aizen. But like if you get a little lucky with Aizen to throw out these to get like quick Rookie and stuff like this, it can go crazy. We're gonna see an unexpected defeat. No hero on the first pull for Naomi either, just like there wasn't one for Azure. But hitting that unexpected defeat to get rid of Aura. Aura is probably the second most important ally that Ainz wants to have in play, so it's not a bad fate at all to get rid of Aura there and force Azure to have to replay it later. Are we gonna see him cash shop? Yeah, he's gonna cash shop and get out the Greater Teleport ASAP. And just pay for that. Probably move to Irantel and gain 2. There is a world where Azure wants to try and set, like, move to Riestize or something, Riestize, however you pronounce it, and try and get some heavy fates going since Aizen has such a strong start here. However, at the same time, Azure really doesn't want to fate too much because it'll weaken the invasion for when the invasion happens. Realistically, he probably wants to get at least one hero out. It really works in odd numbers because when the invasion happens, you just want it to be, 9 heroes is basically as good as 10 heroes for the opponent when it comes to invasion. And if he gets out, if there are 2 heroes out, which means the invasion would be 8 cards, you may as well fate another and make it 7 cards because it'll still split into, there will still be a pile that is 4. So there's some math there I'm not going to go too deep on right now because it'd take too long. But we're going to see Tyr and Aaron thrown out here. And, oh boy, we are going to see the Greater Teleport moved over to Riestize now. This is an incredibly strong start for Naomi. It's also incredibly good for Naomi, very lucky even, to have gotten an Air Gate out the rip. One of the weaknesses of getting a very early Rukia is not having Air Gates to get the allies that are shuffled into your deck out easy. But the fact that Naomi had an Air Gate off rip is a huge boon, to especially at the game 3 like this, to be able to boost out stuff quick. And now Azure getting Urahara is having to cover the top fate, which isn't something you have to do against Aizen all that super often with how invasion works and all. I'm curious how long Naomi is gonna wait to play invasion though. Oh, got the other Air Gate. This is and then right into another ally. And moving the Air Gate over to Lost Noches to try and really put pressure there. This is one of the, like, greatest orderings I've seen for Aizen. And again, he is a bit of an RNG character, so this is a little extreme. This is, like, super good. But you normally need to get a little lucky as Aizen to do well as him, because that's how the RNG characters who have to, like, pull specific stuff from their fate deck, like Merrick and Aizen work. And this is one of the strongest Aizen games I have ever seen. I think Naomi is debating right now if she wants to trigger invasion. I'm going to be honest. If you don't trigger it this turn, you should trigger it next turn. And it is going to be this turn. I think I probably would have done this turn as well, to be honest. You've already got Gin, Tyr, Yami, Aaron, and Ulkoira all out. You can very easily use Gin along with Yami to, like, buff up Yami, start getting some allies into the discard, which will pump up Aranero and whatnot. And really, with the top fate covered, you're not getting that top fate back for a while, so there's no point in, like, trying to take the time to kill. Basically, Naomi cannot kill Urahara without mostly hurting herself until after evasion is gone. So with this many allies set up to get some quick kills with whatever heroes Azure gets to play here, there's really no need to wait on it. So we're going to see Naomi had to use her time to do that. And then it pauses for Azure because he's having to do something outside of his turn. And we're going to see that Azure is going to pick the pile of 4 heroes instead of the pile of 5, which does get Mayuri, Byakuya, Ishigo, and Uryu. So 2 power loss from Uryu. Mayuri's going to weaken Tyr and Gin, which is quite unfortunate, and move them around. We're going to see Uryu thrown down at Karakura Town, and Ashigo over there to kill Okura if Naomi goes for anything crazy. I think probably what we're going to see is Naomi is going to want to use Gin plus Okura to kill Ashigo, but might want to wait until a fate happens. But anyways, then we're going to see over here, we're going to see Azure throw down two Death Knights and Sebas all in one play, which all of those 2 strength allies, even through Blue Rose's ability, gets to 3 strength and can kill. We're going to see a fate that's going to pull Orihime and Kenpachi. And we're going to see Kenpachi thrown on Las Noches. Really just wants to keep Las Noches closed and whatnot, which makes a lot of sense because Ainz doesn't want to be fated, and then we'll see the teleport from Riastais over to Nazarick to get power. Azure has to play a very dangerous game here. He doesn't want to let Naomi run away with Aizen now, because this is the weakest part of Aizen's game right here, is right after invasion hits. So Azure really wants to be able to keep up pressure to keep Naomi from getting momentum to get out of this, like, deluge of heroes, because once Naomi gets down to, like, 3 or less heroes on the board, it's really hard to, like, push against Aizen at that point. We're going to see Betrayal played and 3 power gained at Hoikamundo, which triggers Aizen's ability to shuffle back in Orihime, a relatively weak hero, all things considered. But what I was going to say is Azure also, while he does want to keep up some pressure to try and keep... Ooh, a double Gotai 13 again. Seeing that fate twice in one game is without any Kyoka setup is interesting. Very, very surprised that he would bother getting rid of Kyoka Suigetsu right now, because I'm going to be honest, I don't see Naomi playing that card this game, at least not without anything better to do. Throwing down Marie at Baharuth, but what Azure really, really needs right here is, honestly, I'd probably play Frost Dragons. Because what Azure really needs right now is he needs to get power and get ready to do a... getting rid of 10,000 Year Plan is a good argument for doing Platinum Dragon instead. But what Azure needs is he just needs to get up to like 10 or so power as soon as he can, and then get Demiurge in play to try and rip through these plans before Naomi can get her ground, kind of make progress in this totally messed up territory. What are we going to see from Naomi here? I think what Naomi really needs to do is... It would be very unfortunate to lose Okoira. I'm going to throw down Grimjow here. Okay, with the air gate, so it's a free play. Naomi really wants to kill Ashigo before... What's-her-face can come back out. Or Hime. Oh, and throwing in Neutra as well to immediately do the Vanquish on Ashigo. Oh, all 3 of them. Not using Gin. Interesting. Choosing to keep Gin. That does... That, first of all, it gives that move and gain 1, so moving Yami into Mayuri and Byakuya makes sense. Surprised about not trying to keep Yami... Well, you know, might be trying to do, like, a Gin Yami kill on, like, Byakuya Mayuri here, actually. And then that pumps up Yami, and then Yami can kill the other one of these or move back in. But we're going to see Azure go over here. He's going to gain 3 at Nazarick. He's going to throw down Time Magic to guard Baharuth Empire. And he's going to play an Inner Monologue. Immediately going to throw whatever that top plan was back on the bottom. Is probably something like Birth of an Empire or a Sorcerer King that he knows he won't be able to get anytime soon and would rather see it at the end. Setting up his deck with... Looking at the top of that, and then drawing 2 cards. We're going to see him Greater Teleport over here and throw down Pandora's Actor for free. And then we are back over to Naomi. Now, Arenero is at 3 strength now because Neutra, Grimjaw, and Ulkoira all went into the discard. Is at 4, actually, because of tier. So we could see just a quick Uryu kill to open up Karakura. To be able to gain that 2, maybe discard a bit and... still get to play something. I think it would be a pretty strong turn. Really, Naomi just wants to minimize the amount of covered locations. If Naomi can get to the point where whenever Azure fates, he only covers a 2nd location and not a 3rd location, that would go very well for Naomi. And we're going to see something similar to that. We're going to see a Central 46 thrown down, which is going to trigger Aizen's ability to put back in a Gotai 13, which again is a weaker fate than getting any kind of hero. And Betrayal is still out there, so the second Azure kills something, which he's probably going to want to do not too long from now to get Platinum Dragon Lord out of here, to get that top fate open, it will trigger Betrayal, and a Fate will trigger Central 46. A lot of good stuff for Naomi. We're going to see Rukia Bankai. So Rukia is just a 3-strength hero here, which is pretty weak. That is going to trigger Words Central 46, which will allow Naomi. Naomi is immediately going to put them both back on top. It must be a weak Fate. And then we're going to see a lucky guess from Azure, and he is going to guess Shunpo, which is one of Aizen's premier killing cards. He's going to move over the Greater Teleport. Is he going to gain power here? No, he's going to set himself up to where he can do this back and forth Fate nonsense. It's a strategy that Ainz can employ when he's desperate. He's going to use the play card here instead of the discard. Neither of these are what he really wants to see right now. Neither of these are great plans for him at the moment. It's a bit of a desperate one because it means that you're putting out a lot of Fate pressure as Ainz, but you're not doing a lot as Ainz. Mainly, you're not getting power, which, again, Ainz really wants to get to like 8+ power, 10+ power to be able to rip off Demiurge turns. But considering how little setup Azure has right now, it will be pretty good for him to, set up low-tier allies like Pandora's Actor and throw out lucky guesses and whatnot to boost up for stuff like Sorcerer King later. Now, Naomi. I'm not sure what Naomi wants most here. Probably to draw into Berrigan. Berrigan to be able to maybe use with killing Rukia and get better control of Soul Society. Naomi does also have a Shunpo kill set up on Kinpachi very easily. It would trigger Lucky Guess, of course, but I think what Naomi really wants to do right now is before Gin or Yami can be messed with anymore, we're going to see another Betrayal thrown down. The second that Azure kills a hero, it is going to give a lot of... We're going to see another Gotai 13 thrown in, even though it messes up the Central 46 from earlier. Oh, no, wait, no. He already pulled that Fate, I think. My bad. Emperor Jerkneve. Probably just get rid of that time magic, I think, which I believe does trigger the Betrayals instantly. So that's, that whatchamacallit is actually going to backfire. That time shenanigans is actually going to backfire on Azure a little bit. That's going to make an easy Rukia clash, so she's out of there. Once again, opening up. This is what Naomi really needs, is to keep 2 locations open and hopefully get to the point of having a third open because it makes it very hard to Fate. This is a very interesting choice from Azure to not cover Karakura Town, because now Naomi has a very easy Gin Yami kill. Because if she could just... Oh, and we're going to see Demiurge thrown out here, Baharuth already, which is very surprising, and then using it for Golden Princess. Interesting. And then we are going to see the teleport over to Nazarick. I think that Azure is realizing this diminishing return fading is going to kill him in the long run. He really needs to get some power so he can start pushing out Demiurge plans. Especially with Platinum Dragon Lord in play, he's not a threat to a lot of plans being out. Azure is definitely going to want to see Momon in his hand soon to hopefully get a false hero off. That would do a lot for him. Azure is taking a look at the Fate deck. Yeah. Oh, it is already Naomi's turn. We can see their time up there. Naomi definitely taking more time than Azure, but neither of them are low on time at all. Naomi is only just now coming up on 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, if I were Naomi, I would be going to Karakura, getting that Gin Yami kill before anything else happens to them or the heroes that they can target. Kenpachi is an even easier Shunpo kill now. Doesn't have to worry about. They can just actually walk at Kenpachi, which might be what Naomi is going to do this turn. I could see a turn of going to Las Noches, maybe setting another ally with that air gate, clashing Kenpachi, and then just throwing out whatever card you can. A Hogokyu fusion would probably be a good scheme to see Naomi throw out right now, to be honest. Ah, Berrigan is here. Okay. So playing Berrigan for 1 with the air gate. Putting Berrigan at Las Noches, I can respect that. Personally, I think Berrigan is normally better at Karakura or Soul Society, but I haven't played much Aizen in a hot minute. He's not one of my go-to villains in the game. We're going to see a Central 46 thrown out, and then probably shuffling in a Gotai 13. Indeed, it will be a Gotai 13 words. And then just clashing Kenpachi. So getting the normal clash on Kenpachi is very strong. Only 4 heroes keeping Naomi from winning this game right now. And then we're going to see Renji and Gotai 13. So getting a hero here is very good for Azure. And yeah, definitely covering up Karakura. which is going to trigger that central 46, and Naomi is going to set up whatever Naomi wants. I think Naomi just discarded Orihime and maybe something else out of there. I didn't see what all Naomi decided to do there. I was too focused on looking at the Renji tier setup. We're going to see another Demiurge activate from Azure. And again, not great, these three. These three are really not doing it. Population control is an easy gain 1 if he really wants it. What he really wants right now is to get False Hero. He wants to get Momon. If he has Momon, he can go to Nazarick and do a Momon move over to Demiurge. That would mess up him, like, losing some fate pressure. Both of these lucky guesses appear to be for Shunpo. Which I would expect us to be seeing a Shunpo before too long. We could even see a Shunpo this turn to kill Renji at Karakura while Naomi is getting a fate off at Soul Society, maybe. We could also, because it looks like Azure is well and truly... The only way that Azure could top fate is if he has Supreme Magic in hand, and he discards everything but Supreme Magic while it re-styes to get the 1 Renown from Population, and then blows up Platinum Dragon. But I was going to say, going here and playing Hagokyu Fusion might not be bad, but I know we saw Naomi discard at least 1 Hagokyu Fusion earlier. I don't know if she discarded both. Discard a plan or 8 fingers. Honestly, in this board state with this setup, I would discard that False Hero. The odds are high that this upcoming fate is, or that this turn for Azure is going to be Nazarick, play Momon, teleport into Demiurge. I think Naomi is checking to see where the Momons are. And we're actually going to see 8 fingers thrown down, which also isn't bad because it would make the False Hero move worse. Unless Azure kill. I don't think we've seen any Grasp Hearts, though, so... I don't know. I feel like I probably would have just discarded the False Hero there. I think what we're probably going to see here is a Grasp Heart on 8 fingers into Momon into False Hero. Which would be very strong for Azure. Although Azure still doesn't have a whole lot of setup out, namely doesn't have an Aura, which is going to be a problem for him. He really needs to get on that. Get some more allies out here. Cocoitus, Albedo, what have you. He lost, like, most, if not all, of his Death Knights and Sebas earlier, so he can Pandora's out Aura if he really wants to. And then we are going to see a Shunpo. There are 3 there, so the Shunpo plus the 3 there makes it 5. That does give Azure a ton of power to work with, though, which is scary. But it opens up the top fate Vanquish and kills Urahara. And we are going to see Grasp Heart. Are we going to see Momon? This is going to be some good momentum, especially because Azure is going to be able to get Aura back out. There's going to be some very strong momentum for him. He might even do some... Oh, he's going to throw out Death Knight and Albedo. Might even do some pulls with Demiurge. He actually got Subjugation this turn, which is very good. So he's not going to be able to Momon now, so he's not getting False Hero. I think he's changing his mind because he realized that he wouldn't be able to get False Hero. Oh, he's going to keeping up appearances first. Okay, well, 1 more gets him keeping up. That was the top of your villain deck, buddy. He definitely doesn't have Super Tier in hand. Political Intrigue, which is not triggering here. That will get keeping up appearances, which is going to be 1 power and 1 renown. Could pull another one, but if he has Momon in hand, he wants to spend the 1 on Momon, and indeed it will be that. So he's going to get him up to 4 renown and 2 power, and he can go back to Nazarick on his coming turn to get up to 5 power. So we could see some serious, and he still gets his play as well, so he's going to throw out a Death Knight and Cocoitus here, which gets him up to 4 allies, which triggers Subjugation also. 5 renown and 2 power. It was a very strong Ain's turn, for sure. But Naomi is in a pretty good position here. I think we're finally going to see this Gin Yami kill. I think that the reason why Naomi was so slow to do it earlier was to set up the Urahara kill with the Shunpo instead of taking the earlier chance at a Shunpo kill with whoever it is I'm thinking of. Oh, and a Hollow King to immediately... Oh, just down to 2 heroes, and one of them is Renji? Ooh, this is very, very dangerous for Azure. And then we're going to see a red drop to blow up Demiurge immediately. Whatchamacallit is still in here. Slain Theocracy I don't think we've seen, so I don't think you'd mind control here. You absolutely red drop Demiurge here. It will slow him down so much because Pandora's Actor is in the discard. Azure will have to rely on strategy meetings, which take up playa cards, or he'll have to reshuffle his deck fast and hope he draws back into either Demiurge or Pandora's Actor. And mind controlling Demiurge here would be bad, because then it's just an easy Demiurge kill with Mare or Cocoitus. You'd probably give up Cocoitus in that situation. Or if you have another Death Knight or something to play that into it with this Death Knight to get Demiurge back out. I really think it's just red drop at Baharuth. Red drop at Baharuth also, unless Azure wants to throw away Cocoitus, that's going to take away the move in the game 1 there, which would be a major problem for Azure. And on top of all of that, Slain Theocracy is in the next fate or the fate afterwards, which will play Mind Control and hit like Aura or something. This is, Azure got some wicked good momentum here. I don't know why I became a surfer dude for a second there. Got some really good momentum there, but this red drop fate with an upcoming Slain Theocracy, unless I missed them earlier in the discard, which I don't think I did, but maybe, or they might have been in the first fate or two when there were no allies out, now that I think about it. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe Slain Theocracy isn't in play, I'm not sure. But red drop is definitely the play here. This puts Azure on an annoying back foot, unless he can do some serious strategy meeting plays to get out of it. Also, he doesn't get to fate this turn. We are going to see a strategy meeting. Coincidental is not going to hit now. They're both in the discard. So it's probably going to be Birth of an Empire, which requires a lot of movement or hero kills. Neither of those are very strong plans right now. I think we saw Lord of Nazarick pass earlier, so what is he? Sorcerer King hasn't come out yet, but that's not going to be any good for him. I'm not sure that he has many strong choices for plans remaining. World Items can basically be a free one. Sinister for 2. I don't think he really wants to be getting hit with another Fate right now. Yeah. World Items is very easy to get if he just draws into Cash Shop or Time Magic. I think they might all be in the discard, though, so he might have to redraw for them. Honestly, unless that hand is really good, I'd be playing or discarding that whole hand, because you got to reshuffle back into Pandora, Demiurge, or more strategy meetings ASAP, because Eisen is very quickly reaching critical mass here. He is going to win in the not-too-distant future. And unless Azure does something to kill Platinum Dragon Lord to be able to get back some more fate pressure, he's not going to be able to slow down Eisen well enough. Also, he didn't go to Irantel and take out red drop with Cocoitus this turn, which might also really come back to bite him, because next turn when he goes to Baharuth, he's not going to get the gain 1 or the move. He'll be able to teleport back out of Baharuth, which will give him really strong back-to-back bottom fate turns. But this first bottom fate turn he's about to go get is not going to be great. Also, guaranteed ability for Naomi to fate, and if Naomi pulls Naomi pulling Slain Theocracy here would be very painful. Honestly, a Slain Theocracy pull here, I would probably take Cocoitus. Mind Control Cocoitus, or as another good option, but I would probably Mind Control Cocoitus so that red drop sits here with Cocoitus and really messes up Azure's bottom fate, because that's what Naomi really wants, is just to really strangle out Azure's ability to fate, because she is so incredibly close to the endgame here. And then you could slap Slain Theocracy themselves either at Irantel to make that Vanquish really bad, or double cover the top fate. We are going to see that Naomi is not going to do a fate here, and instead going to take out Renji with Zomari plus, whatchamacallit, discard 5th division. So it's just Toshiro. Incredibly likely that Eisen can do a numerous amount of things to get the kill here, so it has to be a fate. And it is going to be the Visored, which stops Naomi from winning, which is very good for Azure, because now Naomi has to play out a bunch of schemes or get enough power, and we are going to see a Grasp Heart to immediately kill red drop and get the movement here. Interesting that he'd move the Death Knight into Reestize and not Cocoitus, probably because of the incoming... Oh, we're going to see an Albedo throwdown to get political intrigue. That was a surprisingly strong turn from Azure. He got a lot more done there than I expected him to. He still has population control and world items. He's actually... I see what he's done here. He's set up for Birth of an Empire. If he draws an item that he can play, then on his turn he can just get into Showdown. He just has to play an item that gets him 1 from world items, and then he, like, moves Cocoitus in here and doesn't Fate. He gets the points instead. We're going to see Coyote thrown down for cheap, and we're going to see Slays his Boar. Nope, can't do that. Can't do that because of how Toshiro's ability works. It's very unfortunate for Naomi. This is the one hero that she cannot get away with doing that. So what is she going to do in exchange? This has been an incredible game, by the way. Super lucky starts for both competitors, starting with Staff into Greater Teleport. And Azure has had pretty good ordering on his plans as well, from what I've seen. And then Naomi, of course, got that insanely good Rukia start with an Air Gate in hand instantly. There's a potential we might have seen the end of the game if Azure hadn't pulled Vizard there as well. Yeah, now that Naomi realizes she can't kill Toshiro with that Coyote play, she's debating how she wants to do this. Could go to the bottom Fate this turn and throw down an ally to then try and do it next turn. I don't know what that last Fate is. She got rid of Orihime earlier. I think it might just be a Bankai. I think it might be a Bankai. Naomi's put so many Gotai 13s back in, I wouldn't be surprised with that. Yeah, so we are just going to see the throwdown Slays Sapporo here. And then a Fate, which is going to be Reastize and Adventuring Parties. Adventuring Parties is the better Fate here. Going to go with Reastize? I guess Reastize, like, guarantees that Platinum Dragon Lord can't just be killed with that one card, but I don't think that matters too much right now. The main thing here is that Naomi needs to try and stop Birth of an Empire. That probably stops it for at least a turn, even if Azure has the kill Platinum Dragon Lord card. We are going to see him just go over here and fake. It was a Bankai. And getting Renji back off the top, not the strongest hero, but pretty good nonetheless. Covering up Karakura Town because it's the strongest location for just killing people. Although, I'm not too sure about it with the top Fate being open, because now Naomi can easily go get that Toshiro kill. And we're going to see a cash shop, which is going to get the world items and gain 1. Yeah, so if it hadn't been for a hero play on that last Fate from Naomi, then Azure would be in Showdown right now. It was looking pretty in Aizen's favor at the start of this game and through a good bit of the mid-game, but I think I'm leaning a little more towards Ainz right now. Mostly because I think most of Naomi's schemes are unfortunately in the discard pile, which makes Vizard a lot more difficult to get through. I think Naomi might have discarded... I know earlier in the game, like on the first Gotai or the second Gotai, we saw that Naomi had 2 Hogokyo fusions in hand. I know that I saw her discard 1. I think she might have discarded 2, which I think might be what ruins her here. Not having a Hogokyo fusion to just be able to punch Toshiro and like force a specific Fate from Azure at one point or another, or to have been able to take a Hoiko Mundo turn to kill someone in such a way and maybe get to move to Karakura and get another kill there, let alone any Shunpo nonsense. I think that the loss of Hogokyo fusion and the extra momentum that it could have given Naomi, because a Hogokyo fusion right now would easily... It would have handled the Toshiro issue way better than trying to get Slays Sapporo and Coyote to him. I think she must have discarded both, otherwise I imagine she would have used one by now. So I think discarding both of those might have come back to bite her a little bit. We also haven't seen the Hogokyo scheme, Hogokyo Hogokyo experiments, and not getting that to put back in the Hogokyo fusions or any of the other schemes that are useful, or Shunpo is definitely causing Naomi some issues right now. So are we going to see the Toshiro kill here with, yep. And displays Sapporo to just get Toshiro out of there. So it's just Renji and the Vizard. Vizard are pretty easily gotten rid of with a Hoika Mundo into a scheme turn. The problem now, of course, is Renji. We could see a Soul Society move Airgate into Karakura and then do the, there's the Slain Theocracy. Oh, it was Slain Theocracy, and Naomi missing the Slain Theocracy on that last fate. I didn't even clock that at first, but missing the Slain Theocracy on that last fate was actually very damaging. I'd probably take Albedo here. Mess up, absolutely ruin that Irantel location. Just absolutely ruin it, and getting Albedo back this late in the game, the only way that Azure is going to effectively do that is with super tier magic. We might even see him going to Irantel to super... Well, no, he can't even because Riestai's Knights are out. Well, Riestai's Knights get clocked by Aura. Losing Aura into them to then kill either Platinum Dragon or Albedo with super tier would probably be very worth it at this point. Also could actually, because of how they work, could give up Mare or Cocoidus into it either. Because Riestai's Knights are a weird card. Probably Irantel, give up Cocoidus on the Slain kill, which will instead kill Riestai's Knights, and then blow up Albedo with, whatchamacallit card? Is one option. It looks like instead he's going to go over here. So all he's going to do is gain power and play, and he's going to monologue. Okay, so he probably just wants to dig for Demiurge. Demiurge and Heart Grasps. Because he has to clean this up and get... Birth of an Empire is looking further and further away now. He's probably really wanting to look at, like, population control and then a 2-coster, maybe reshuffle into 10,000 year or something similar. We're going to see him end his turn there. So we're back to Naomi, so... I wonder if we will see Soul Society move the gate into Karakura. Gonna go to Hoiko Mundo. Okay, doesn't have to worry too much about fading right now. We are gonna see a fake death. Oh, I don't think we've seen any fake deaths. Naomi has more, whatchamacallits than I realized. More schemes than I realized. And that will get rid of that and then just discarding. Yeah, I was about to say, there's no playing Kyoka Suigetsu this late in the game. At this point, it's not doing a lot. Azure is gonna go Fate because it is insanely easy for Naomi to get this Renji kill. Literally just a Shumpo in hand does it. Not able to use Hado number 40. I don't know if we've seen Hado 40. We are going to see Urahara here, which is very unfortunate for Naomi. Covering Soul Society again, which intrigues me. And we are going to see a Grasp Heart to blow up Riestai's Knights while also putting Slain Theocracy at 0. Riestai's is such a weird card. And then he gets to clash the Theocracy at the end of his turn. That should have only been -2 strength because Cocoidus had them at 2 strength. Disqualifying Azure immediately. Who does he think he is? Man, Naomi is down to 7 minutes. That is insane. We are going to see Hypnosis get Kenpachi. Not having Kenpachi come out here is huge for Naomi. I could see the 8 Fingers play. I could see the get rid of Birth of an Empire. I don't know about putting 8 Fingers there, though. It's just, it takes away the gain 1 move when he goes there next turn, but it's just an easy clash because of Cocoidus. And then that will be Naomi's turn. And we are going to see him do the super tier magic to finally get rid of Platinum Dragon Lord. And then are we going to see a Vanquish just give up Aura into 8 Fingers? Indeed we are. I don't disagree with it. Losing Aura here can definitely hurt, but he really needs stuff cleaned up. I think he's still betting on Birth of an Empire to try and get through this. We're going to see a Bankai and a Rukia. At some point, you got to cover the top fate, my dude. Honestly, I might have Bankai'd Urahara onto the top fate. Or Renji, actually. Bankai'ing Renji onto it wouldn't have been too bad. Because Azure just needs, like, a turn or two where he can actually, like, do something other than Fate. Fate or clean up heroes. Naomi is thinking if she really wants to Fate here or do something different. Going to Huecamundo. Gain 3 and What are we going to see here? I don't think we've seen Hagoku experiments yet, but it's going to be a really tough sell at this point, because with only one card left here, there's no way that Azure triggers that before. We're just going to see another Hypnosis, which gets rid of Shigo, which is quite lucky. But not killing a hero this turn might be a death knell for Naomi. Azure only needs 4 Renown. He's going to throw down Time Magic to guard his Top Fate as well, which guarantees him Golden Princess next turn. Uryu, take away that power. Yeah. Finally covering up that Top Fate. And do it with Byakuya instead and move over Berrigan. Fair enough. What are we going to see from Naomi here? Hado number 40, there it is. Kill in game 1 and then throw down Tosen. We're going to move Tosen into Renji. Indeed we are. So Renji can now be clashed. Then we're going to see a Fate. Probably what our Lord meant to say, just dies to Golden Princess or population control. But it might be the best option because he's getting Golden Princess no matter what here. Yeah. And then that'll be that. Aizen is on his reshuffle. With some lucky timing on draws here, we could see Aizen get a comeback here. Sorcerer King and Royal Procession was the other one we hadn't seen yet. Neither of those are doing anything right now. I was about to say, probably, having to lose a Grasp Heart there is less than ideal. Doesn't get any power because there's no aura. And then just another Fate. Yeah, just covering as many locations as possible to make Aizen's life as miserable as possible. Going over to Nazarick to gain 3, hoping to draw into Demiurge. He's in those 11 cards, either in Azure's hand or in those last 7. Go over here, throw down Yami for 1. And that lets Shumpo onto Byakuya happen, which is going to allow another Fate here. Probably kill Cocoitus. I could see killing Mare too, but I'd kill Cocoitus. Yeah. Makes that location a lot worse, but that Top Fate is still open, which is getting progressively more difficult for Naomi to deal with. Azure has played a very defensive Ainz late game here, which has been able to just play keep away essentially on Naomi, closing out this showdown. There's the Pandora's Actor, which is going to allow Demiurge to come out next turn. Or he may just going to buff up Renji to 4 because Tosen's putting him down by 1. Which means that's no longer a clash. There's no point in playing out Demiurge right now. See if you draw Demiurge and then play into Aura. Oh, he's going to play Aura immediately. He has Demiurge in hand then. Oh, wait, no. Huh. Oh, Death Knight. Into Death Knight. Into Shaltir. Trying to get Royal Procession? He has to pay more if he does that. He could have done that. It would have taken all of his power. It's a very weird play. I assume he has Demiurge in hand, but even then, weird play. Gain 3, play Coyote into the Rukia, losing 1 to Berrigan, and kill Berrigan. Strategy meeting. Could have potentially won this turn with, yeah, those are both very unlucky. If he had just not spent all that power on Shaltir and Pandora Demiurge, very interesting. Throwing out a lucky guess. I don't know. Is the other lucky guess in the discard? Pot of Greed. Yeah, okay. Real men say Blue Eyes White Dragon. Then teleporting over to Reastize to either kill Red Drop with Shaltir or play the other one. Well, he can't do coincidental this turn. There, he heard me! He heard me! What? How did he hear me? Is he in my walls? How did he know? Getting rid of both Goku fusions. I mean, it looks like it's probably game here anyway, but... Getting rid of both of those for coincidental, which is going to gain 2, and then just throw an ally down at your location. And it is going to be Demiurge, and that'll do Royal Procession, so that is... Showdown. Which means a red drop clash at the end of turn. Just slap whatever you draw on the top fate. Yep, this is going to be Ainz' game. Unfortunate because it was a really good Aizen start, but at the same time, it was also a really good Ainz start. But, yeah, I think, holy cow, this is the longest game we've had thus far. I really think what did Naomi in was not keeping one of those early Hagoku fusions to try and get some easy Hagoku kills. Especially because Platinum Dragon Lord was sitting on Azure's top fate for so long. Very good chance that with just a little bit of timing, Naomi could have gotten like a guaranteed 2 clash kill with Hagoku fusion. And as we saw, it came down to like just Toshiro at one point, so that could have been all the difference maker. Oh, Shumpo into Urahara, okay. Little late, Jerkneve. Can he win on his turn? Neither of those die to Grasp Heart. I'm not sure that he can win on his turn. Whoa, my mouse wheel got a little freaky there. No, it looks like he's just going to Fate and discard a bunch to try and get a card that'll let him win. Now he's throwing down Cash Shop. So he can easily get into cards that he needs to murder with. Honestly, nah, this is dangerous enough that I probably would have faded here too. Part of me was thinking, like, just go to Nazarick, use the Cash Shop to get what you need, and then punch Jerkneve, but playing it a little safe. Yep, there's Super Tier, so that's a free kill on one of them. Oh, I didn't realize that he had the Greater Teleport there, so yeah, then he just does that, and now he has game set up. Okay, yeah, so yeah, definitely the right play then. I didn't realize that his Teleport was there, my bad. Was it Riastais? I don't think, Manashigo has been hypnosised into oblivion this game. Get Tier out. I don't think there's really any fate that's gonna save the day here, unfortunately, mostly because Time Magic is out. Yeah, if both Grasp Hearts are not in the discard, which I don't think they are, it's game. Because it'll just Cash Shop into Grasp Heart, Grasp the Dragons, and then Clash. Very well played by Naomi, especially with a strong Aizen start, but unfortunately just could not close out. Got really close when it was down to just Toshiro, but then Azure was able to put up such a Fate Storm right after and got a hero on basically every hit that it just kept Naomi right out of being able to close out the game. That Vizard timing was very devilish. But a great game from both players, for sure. Very good game. The longest one we've had thus far, for sure. I actually need to, that went so much longer than I thought it would. I need to let some people know that I'm going to be a little late to something I was doing after this. Just let me send that message. Sorry about that. We started late because we had to have a judge switch, and then I had plans, but I'm now telling my other friends that my plans are going to be, I will be very late. Alright, so now, setting up for the next game. Azure won that one, which means Naomi is first player. So Naomi gets to ban first and go first. And we are going to see a Dio ban. Naomi does not want to deal with Dio. I do not blame her. I do not like playing against Dio either. And then who is Azure going to ban in response? Are we just going to see another Merrick ban? Is that what will be happening here? It will be another Merrick ban. Azure knows that Naomi is just simply too skilled with that villain. So now Azure has to pick his villain first, which will allow Naomi to counterpick, is what the word is. Oh, and he's going to play Isabella. We're going to see another Isabella game. All right. Naomi, don't pick Sebastian. That didn't work out for Butter. Isabella has done something to the game that just rigs Sebastian's villain deck against him. It's happened to Butter. It's happened to me. There's something in the programming. It must have been Swallet, because they're both Swallet's villains. He did something where he was like, Isabella will always beat Sebastian every time. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And as we can see here, Naomi always puts a lot of thought into decisions like this, into picking on counterpicks, which is very good to do. It does make it a little difficult on me, the commentator. Isabella is one of the villains in the game similar to, I always say Orochimaru and Loxus are my go-to thoughts on villains that don't really mind what matchup they're in. They do well into most matchups, as long as the game, doesn't go horribly unlucky for them. And Isabella definitely falls into that camp as well, especially with no Dio. I think Dio is actually probably one of the only matchups that are bad for Isabella, really. And even then, I don't think it's horrible. But it's not an easy to counterpick villain, because I don't think Isabella really has many counterpicks, if any. I think probably, especially knowing that you're going first to counterpick Isabella, you probably want a villain that can exert some early fate pressure to try and cover up Isabella's top fate and ruin her own fate pressure, and then make bursts of progress really quickly. Because it does usually take Isabella quite a while to get her objective done. Naomi is thinking very, very hard about this pick. And thought better on it. At this point, I might have to edit some stuff out. Decision paralysis. 22 different villains to 22? 20 villains, because 2 are banned. 20 villains to pick between. I think we have it. Probably didn't need any cuts there. Tetsuo! I'm excited to see it, but boy howdy is Tetsuo not a counter pick here, I would say. I don't think that Tetsuo likes this matchup much at all, because Isabella can make a lot of, Isabella can do a lot of setup while fading. A lot of setup while fading. It's because with both discards being at the fate, as well as a move for moving around her allies at the top fate, and then a little bit of power gain at the bottom fate when they aren't being covered, and we are going to see the reshuffle, the mulligan from Azure there. Isabella does not mind just creeping between her 2 fate locations a good bit, and bogging the opponent down while she gets to all the cards that she cares about. We're going to see Naomi go straight over to District 17 Slums. Turn 1 Excruciating Power is a great get for Tetsuo. I hate the way that Naomi does discard piles. It hurts me. And then we're going to see a Whiff Fate on Isabella turn 1, which is very unfortunate. Losing a mom as an enemy out the gate is very good for Azure, very bad for Naomi. On over to Grassy Fields, getting Crone out immediately to protect the small forest. Very easy to move Sister Crone in and uncover as needed. Then we're going to see Takashi is the first fate here, which is the one that increases the amount that you draw from effects. The girl is the power gain one, I think. Or the one that makes effects cost more. So, Takashi, very annoying, as most of Tetsuo's heroes are. So Naomi is going to want to walk at Takashi ASAP. We are going to see Naomi go straight over to Military Hospital to try and get another fate and actually get a hero this time, and did get Ray. The problem with Ray here is that if Azure is willing to just give up Sister Crone, he can just go to Small Forest on his turn anyway and blow him up. Oh, so we're actually going to see the Gilda play for that exact reason, to move Sister Crone out of position. So now Azure will have to move Sister Crone away from Gilda and then back into Gilda if he wants to get that kill. And we're going to see a Rebellion thrown down for Naomi. Excruciating Power into Rebellion is quite a good start for Tetsuo, and we're going to see the Rebellion trigger immediately here on gaining 3. Discarding the other Rebellion and Debris. Gotta be a pretty good hand to only discard Rebellion, of all things. Discarding Debris makes a lot of sense. And we're just going to see a harvest for 2. It is nighttime. That will kill Gilda. Open back up Small Forest and clean up Azure's territory. I think his ping just spiked to 999, so hopefully he's doing okay despite that. Why did I... Okay, I got a message on Discord, but it doesn't matter. I was just making sure it wasn't them saying, like, hey, we need to pause for a second. And then we're just going to see a schedule for, like, 5 turns, probably just a pseudo-discard action. Another excruciating power. This is a lot of power on Tetsuo. A lot of power, but Naomi needs to start getting some organ jars and some cultists down to make use of it. We're going to see Miyako thrown to District 17 slums, hoping not to see Yamagata following that immediately. Azure's going to head on over to Small Forest and move Crone back into position, get a Fate. Colonel and Kaisuke, both pretty rough fates here. Good to see them at the same time. We are going to see Shikishima thrown onto District 17 slums, which is interesting. Just really worried about keeping that top fate locked down for now instead of messing with more of Tetsuo's action economy, which I can understand. Premium farm. I think there are only triggers on the 2 strength heroes. I guess if there's like a debris at the 3 strength heroes, it can trigger it. It's not something that Tetsuo triggers a lot, is what I'm trying to say. You're gonna see Emma in fire here. Just gonna throw Emma down at the Small Forest. Emma is Crone bait. Easy to be killed by Crone here. But unless Azure gets some minus tokens on Emma first, won't do a lot. Considering covering Grassy Field instead, which I definitely understand. Doing that to stop the power gain in the discard there, make it a much weaker location. Just hit my elbow on my desk. Good job, me. And then we're going to see pills thrown down. Meanwhile, back at the Grassy Field, that card is ticking down. We're going to see a daily report with Crone to gain 3. And then another Fate, which gets Kai and Masaru. Throw Masaru at Neo Tokyo. Honestly, I probably would have thrown K there and gotten the Akira set up, but Masaru is also very annoying because you have to walk at him. Tetsuo will have to go over there to punch him at some point. Yeah, this is why I didn't think that this would be a great matchup for Tetsuo, because again, Isabella really does not mind just jumping between her fate locations, especially in the early game, and just discarding cards willy-nilly as she tries to get to stuff like Demon List, Bell, Bedtime, etc., and putting a lot of threat on the opponent in the process. We're going to see a Prosthesis Akira Reborn kill to get Colonel Shikishima out of here. Very good. And then we're back over to Azure, who's going to play Teferi Offerings and do another Fate. We're going to see a motorcycle probably put on Takashi. It wouldn't do a whole lot on Masaru, because when Masaru dies, it'll move him into a military hospital, which is an easy second clash for Tetsuo. But Isabella can just so easily exert Fate pressure while making incremental progress, and then in the mid to late game, let up on the Fate a little bit to focus on going to, like, to gate mainly. To do some plays and some activates. It looks like this is the turn Naomi is going to take to... Oh, probably going to pills Akira Reborn. To go ahead and get that kill. Yep, to get that kill on Takashi. Move him over and get rid of Motorcycle. And then also get to punch Masaru this turn. While getting an organ jar out. Alright. Good recovery. Very good recovery from Naomi. This fabled card has almost reached its time. If it's a card that Azure actually wanted to play, it's a daytime card. Or a card that doesn't care. Yamagata here is pretty unfortunate, putting, whatchamacallit, back in hand. And I think that's probably... Does he still have a card play? And it's just another daily report to gain 3 from Crone's location again. So now we're going to see Naomi go over to Military Network, gain some power, put some more Fate pressure. We're going to see Dawn, which is a very good Fate to get right now. Get that power down that Isabella has slowly been building up through daily reports and whatnot. And we're back over to Naomi. Very little time has passed. We're just going to see Naomi get Lady Miyako back out. Did Naomi move? Didn't I? Yeah, Naomi played Dawn and then... Right, I got confused. I think I got confused. Naomi played Dawn and then for some reason I thought that was the end of Azure's turn. But then Naomi also chose to play Lady Miyako. Yeah. So Azure is going to go over here playing tag. I didn't see whatever that card was. I think it was just discard fodder. We're actually going to see a They Know here. Interesting. I highly doubt he's doing this to put out Demon List because he would run the risk of it getting hit by... Well... Unless, and we are going to see an Akira Reborn here. Oh, he's... Surely he didn't They Know Demon List. He's going to pay for that if it is. There's Norman. That's going to kill it. Azure. You've fallen victim to the classic blunder. Well, now he has to Bell back the Demon List, which isn't like the end of the world at all. We're going to see a Cultist thrown out with the Miyako activate. And so now we see that Naomi is finally getting some... Yep, there's the bell. So just going to get it right back. So calculated risk on it. Not too bad. Accidentally drew one too many cards there, I think. And yeah, so just to play Bell, activate Bell, play Demon List. Now he can start getting heroes back on his side. I think he has like a guaranteed Connie right now. Ooh, are we going to see the first token gone here? Awakening Potential and then activating the Organ Jars gets rid of the Shockwaves, and that will, in fact, get rid of the first Tetsuo token. And then Awakening Potential is out for next turn, and this will trigger Tafaria Offerings, which I just realized is like a very guaranteed trigger against Tetsuo, which is funny. So Azure is going to immediately play 2 cards, one of which will be played immediately, the other one which will take another turn. Grandmother Sarah. Get her out to start making those cards cheaper. This one, in particular. I think this is a guaranteed Connie. I think we've seen all the other heroes. Oh, Phil might still be in here. One of these 2 fates might be Phil. It was a guaranteed 3 strengther. Setting another card aside, probably at a cost for 1. Or at a turn for 1, because it'll be cheaper because of Grandmother Sarah. And then we're going to see a family dinner play to weaken Norman so that he can very easily get some crone kills here. What are we going to see from Naomi this turn? Could take this opportunity to go punch Takashi and get some power back. Could take the opportunity to fate. It would play Phil, I think. Or I think is it the other mom is an enemy in there? Might be able to just get rid of Connie, force Azure to take another activate to get his to get out whoever he wants. Potentially. Excruciating Power. Should have drawn 3 from that. It did indeed. Played a card down to 3 cards. Drew 3 from Excruciating. Drew 2 from Excruciating words. Takashi makes another. Activate Lady Miyako? Probably. Get another Cultist out? I could see that being the case. I could see that being the case indeed. I think that's what Naomi is looking at right now. Oh, also has another Awakening Potential play, so might be debating doing an Awakening Potential play into a pills and then activating the pills maybe to get back a whatever card it is I'm thinking of. Organ Jar. And it is Mom is an enemy, so either play Phil or Mom is an enemy. There's a very funny thing where you put Phil at small forest, move Emma to small forest, and then heal Norman. Just absolutely ruin that location. Naomi is thinking very hard about it. The thing is getting rid of Connie isn't potentially great here because it gives Azure the option when he goes to activate, probably on this next turn or the turn after, to pick up Ray, get a 5 strengther out. Even more so if he ends up, like, killing Norman and or Emma this turn. Really running down the clock on this decision. Playing Phil over to Grace Fieldhouse and then moving Dawn over there just to take away the power. Oh, okay. That does, if this is anything like True Colors or whatnot, that will stop like a True Colors play. Because even with Grandmother Sarah's discount, now Azure cannot afford any card that costs more than one. And then we are going to see a Pills play with the Awakening Potential into a Pills activate or a Lady Miyako activate, one or the other. Time will tell. Poor Azure's ping. Poor guy. Soul is still a card that can be played, but I see the value in just throwing out a whatever it's called, an organ jar. Also, you don't want to hold on to this pill because Soul right here would be catastrophically damaging. Is quite a likely fate. I think we still have Akira in here, Canada. The female of the little blue man group. What is she called? I think her name's Kyoko. I don't play a lot of Tetsuo. Takashi, Kyoko, and Masaru, I think. There's all three of them. We are going to see the pills just for an organ jar in the end. I think Naomi was considering a couple of different lines and just decided that was the best one. So we're going to see it's double free time. Holy cow. All right. Just weakening down everyone. So that will get Emma and Connie to 0. Or no, Emma is still at 1. But 1 is enough for Isabella to clash. And we are going to see the Crone move into Norman to kill Norman. Crone is not discarded because of how her ability works. And then there's Soul. Yeah, it's still a good Soul even with the pills gone. Just get rid of both of those. Oh, is this trigger on... It's not on defeat, it's on discard? Oh, yeah, it sure is. So Miyako going there triggers premium farm for 2 power, which is definitely very nice for Azure right now. He's just going to discard and then end his turn. Naomi's going to take this opportunity to throw down a Cultist, get some power, and finally punch Takashi. Going to use the Cultist to not draw, maybe? Nope, still drew to 4. Must not have a setup to get the win. Or get the token. Activating Bell for It's Time to Go, and then just playing that It's Time to Go, and then playing Harvest, I assume. Yep, that will get Isabella her first child. I haven't seen it Promised Neverland, but I think Connie is the canonical one. So, look at that. Canon event. Ooh, gonna be able to get this without having used the Cultist. Unhinged Laughter and Organ Jars. Oh, baby, and that's 2 tokens out. So this is becoming a much closer game than I was anticipating. Naomi has done incredibly well to dig out of that like 3-hero nightmare that she was in earlier. We are going to see Akira thrown down here. There's almost assuredly no way that Naomi's going to get a token off this turn, so Akira will be annoying. I think Naomi might have one more organ jar coming up. Don't know if she's gone through all of her pills. We're seeing a 5-turn schedule here, and he's already at a discard location, so must be something that he thinks could potentially be useful down the line. This has been a very strong Tetsuo game from Naomi, I must say. Very well done. We're going to see Naomi go over here and just gain power. Going to try and set up getting rid of the token next turn, maybe? Oh. Oh. Wow, that is insane if this works out. This is one of the best Tetsuo games I've ever seen. And then there's just the multi-fate on Canada. Honestly, I would have full faded there to hopefully pull Shikishima. I think that's what he's doing. Playing Canada will not stop. I don't think you can stop this token outside of Shikishima. Did not get it. It was a very low chance. This is going to be a very impressive Tetsuo win if Naomi manages this. Because as I said earlier, I would not favor Tetsuo in this matchup at all because Isabella, as we saw in that early game, is very good at just going between fate spots. But Naomi, it seems, has managed to defend the top fate very, very effectively. And we are going to see that last token gotten rid of and an organ jar out just for funsies. These have been very good Isabella fates. I think that outside of the first fate that whiffed, Naomi has gotten like a good fate basically every turn. Gotten a hero on almost every fate every turn, I believe. Which has been very less than ideal for Azure. But now Tetsuo just has to draw out of control. I don't remember. I think we saw out of control discarded earlier when Naomi got a token. So Azure really needs to get a 5-strengther here, which I think is guaranteed because this is all of the 3-strengthers. So yeah, has to get a 5-strengther and has to go fast. He is going to have bedtime, put all of them at 0. That'll let him clash Phil or Dawn. Probably Dawn because Dawn's ability is more damaging. And Ray is already down to 2 strength. Not clashing Phil. Interesting. I wonder why. Because it's not like he's going to get back around. Unhinged Laughter. Get rid of Cowrie just to draw more cards. Try and get to out of control. Yeah, Mom is an enemy. Just weaken Ray for sure. This has been an incredible Tetsuo game by Naomi. I'm glad we've gotten to see this. I'm going to see Azure schedule a card for next turn because it'll trigger on Grandmother Sarah. A lot of people there for Litany Test. Or no, wait, no, I'm thinking of Family Dinner. Litany Test is just the face down card. Still -2, pretty good. Going to see a Rebellion, which is going to punish him for... Ooh, and then Emma. I cannot stress enough that Naomi has gotten insanely good Isabella fates this game. I want to go back and review this footage. I think Naomi has gotten a hero on all but like 2 fates, which in Isabella's fate deck is very unlikely. Like, very much so. I think Isabella has 7 heroes. Connie is out of rotation now. And she, like, takes heroes out of rotation. We're going to see an Insider's Knowledge, actually, to mess up the card that Azure is about to get from Grandmother Sarah. That makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I still probably would have done just Emma at Ray to buff Ray even more. We're going to see Dr. Onishi to put in the organ jar. All Naomi really wants to see right now is, Premium Farm, throwing that down. Gonna move Ray. Move Ray. Gotta get Ray 2-0 and to the gate ASAP. But, Naomi really just wants to see out of control, obviously, and if not out of control, yeah, that'll... Getting the mom is an enemy on every single fate, like, that it works, other than... Naomi literally whiffed the first fate and then hit every other fate, like, ideally, every single time, which is crazy. Oh, yeah, Premium Farm doesn't trigger here because Canada is making Onishi a 3. So we're going to see an unplayable bedtime and they know because Azure has no power. Going over to Grassy Field. Scheduling a card for 1 turn, and then we're going to see Kai and Masaru. Yeah, just try and take away that fate pressure. Doesn't want to put Akira on top, that's for sure. Akira would just help Naomi at this point. Really funny quirk about Tetsuo's fate deck. It starts to help him when he's done with his tokens, in exchange for how much it hurts him prior to that. Gonna see Naomi go up here and get some power, just throw down some pills. Naomi is really going to want to stay at 1 power if she can help it, because she's going to want to be able to go to Highway Overseas Game 3 and play Out of Control, which costs 4. We're going to see in its time to go. Move Crone back to Grassy Field, better positioning, and then get Ray back there for a potential bedtime. The amount of cards that Tetsuo draws by effect is increased by 1. Honestly, you don't want to play either of these. I don't think I would have put Takashi there, because now if Naomi gets out of control, it's a double kill. I guess Highway Overpass would have been the best. You just really want to spread them as best you can at this point in Tetsuo's game. We're going to see an excruciating power, which thanks to Kakashi, thanks to Takashi, is going to be a triple draw for Naomi, which is very good for Naomi. And then gets Norman, gets another 5 strength or good Prison Break. Honestly, Prison Break Ray all the way over there isn't bad, but like, man, how many 5 strengthers has Naomi pulled in this game? Insane. I think that Azure might nearly... Oh, wow, didn't discard the full hand. Must have Out of Control in hand. There's no reason not to discard the entire hand unless you have Out of Control. We're going to see a Harvest kill on Gilda. And then activate the Radar to move over Ray. Slap a card down for 1 turn. And then, are we going to see Out of Control here, I assume? Yep, and then they're both going to die because of Out of Control's ability. Clash with the hero, clash with each hero at the location instead. And so that will be a double murder on them, which means that Naomi wins on her turn. So, must fate. We're going to see a -2 thrown on Ray and Norman. It's crazy that this game is still actually, like, kind of close. Up, Shikishima. Ooh. I don't remember how this interaction works. I think that Naomi can still punch Tsukishima and... No. I think that Tsukishima stops the double punch, I think. Because it's when you would. Yeah. Has to punch the Colonel first. You're going to see, and it's time to go to get rid of Norman. Just clean up his entire territory. Look at how insane that is. This game is immediately super close again. Azure is within, like, 2 turns of winning, potentially. Azure actually could win on his turn if he has Harvest and it's time to go in hand. Because it would cost 3 power. He'd go to the gate, spend 1 to move over, and then spend 2 on Harvest to put Ray in and win. That is actually insane that Azure could win this turn if he has the correct 2 cards in his hand. If that premium farm had gone off earlier, he wouldn't even need 2 cards in his hand. He'd have 2 more power, and then if he had 1 more power, then with Bell, he would only need to have either It's Time to Go or Harvest in his hand, which is insanity that he's that close to winning after what his board state looked like a second ago. All right, Emma, I'm blown away that Naomi has gotten, like, the perfect fate on Azure every single time. Azure might still win because Naomi isn't... I don't think Naomi is going to be able to kill Kei and Tsukishima in this board state. Which means that if Azure can set it up... Oh, but I don't remember, how does Vita work? Does it need to be Night for Vita? He might not... If he doesn't get Ray this turn, he might not be able to get Ray until it's too late. I mean, there's really nothing for Naomi to do here except go punch Tsukishima. And then just really hopes that she has telekinesis. So there's Vita and free time. How does Vita work? Yeah, it's any time of day Vita pops off. And we are going to see a fate. Probably Sister Crone get rid of Emma here. Any hero. Yeah, Kyoko, that'll do it. Unless It might be over if Naomi, which it is very possible, if Naomi has, because Awakening Potential is out, if Naomi has Akira Reborn and a ally. Any ally in Akira Reborn means that Naomi wins no matter what Azure does here, no matter what fate he does. Moving over Grandmother Sarah? For a schedule thing? I cannot believe that Azure was still like one turn from winning. Despite how like every single fate against Isabella feels like it has been nightmarish. We've had some bad fate ordered like fate games. So yep. Naomi's got it. So that is going to be a win for Naomi. Incredible Tetsuo win. I just got every single fate needed against Isabella and took masterful advantage of it. Some really great token removal from Naomi, getting the triple cultist into Akira when Akira was played by Naomi. That was chef's kiss. Fantastic plays by Naomi. Azure did very well regardless. Again, he was that like one turn off from winning if he had the right stuff. What on earth did they just do? What? Okay, just run that back real quick. That, you know, we'll leave that in the recording. That's funny to see. But incredible game between the two of them. Very unfortunate for Azure that just the Fate deck was not cooperating with him. We've had that happen a couple of times. This tournament has had some mean Fate decks. That Crocodile Fate deck that Lark had when he was against Doc, and then the Griffith Fate deck when the Griffith and the Orochi Fate deck when it was Kodake against Butter. Butter's Griffith Fate deck like had off the top like Casca and Guts, and on top of that 2 Whiffed Fates against Orochi. So This is the tournament arc of mean Fate decks, evidently. But we will be going to our first game 3. I'm surprised we've had so many 2-0s this season thus far from how things have gone. But, you know, sometimes the game goes. It's the thing about anime Villainous, especially because it's, you know, like a card game and all. There's some RNG associated with it. So you're always going to have a loss rate and whatnot. So sometimes you just get 2-0'd, even if you're some of the best players in the game. All of the people in this tournament have experienced being 2-0'd, and they've experienced 2-0'ing people. That's just how it goes. But it is nice to get a full-on best of 3 here, although it's happened on the worst game imaginable for me, because I was supposed to be meeting with some friends about 3 minutes ago. But, you know, Annaville tournament arc takes precedent. So here we are, and we are once again going to see, since Azure lost that game, he bans first, and then he gets to counterpick Naomi. We are going to see Naomi, or we're going to see Azure ban Merrick, because Azure just refuses to let Naomi do just insane plays with that villain. I got another DM. Is this important? Oh, okay, that doesn't matter right now. All right, just making sure that message... I have Discord open in case something happens and the judge needs to message me like, hey, one of them has to step away, or like something happened, etc. We've had it happen in previous tournament arcs where someone has had something come up, had to like walk away, or so on and so forth. But we are seeing Naomi is putting a lot of thought into this ban, and rightfully so, because Naomi does have to go second here, and Naomi has to get counterpicked. So I imagine what Naomi is doing, knowing that she can't play Merrick, which is one of her go-tos, I imagine that Naomi is thinking very, very hard about, what villain she wants to play, and then basing her ban off of that, because what she wants to do here, knowing that she'll be counterpicked, is she wants to ban a villain that she knows plays well into whoever she is going to play, but not necessarily just a villain that plays well into her. She wants to ban the villain that Azure knows how to play best, that she thinks Azure will want to play into her. So, you know, even if she's gonna pick, like Tetsuo again, and one of Tetsuo's worst matchups is probably Cell or Dio, something like that, maybe Orochi, because she knows that she doesn't necessarily want to just ban, like, oh, I should ban Cell immediately because that plays really well into who I'm going to pick, because Azure might not play Cell very much. So if that's the case, what she actually wants to ban is whoever Azure knows how to play best. And we are going to see a Diaboromon ban, which, as we know, is a villain that Azure is good with, or plays a lot, at least. I don't think I've ever seen him play Diaboromon. I shouldn't make claims. He might suck playing as Diaboromon. Who knows? But, I'm just messing with you, Azure. But, I know that he plays him. So, we are going to see Yaldaboth. Ooh, Naomi is pulling out all of the greatest hits. These are villains you do not see in competitive a whole lot. Although I have been seeing a lot more Yaldaboth recently in this tournament arc. We didn't see a lot of Yaldaboth in some after PTV, which is what the expansion Yaldaboth is from. After it released, we didn't see a lot of Yaldaboth games from that tournament. Seeing a lot now. And it is going to be Dio, so this is going to be a matchup. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure if Dio has, like, an especially favorable matchup here. Dio also, a lot of times, does pretty well going second because a lot of his Fate deck doesn't do a lot off-rip. There are no allies to hit with the ally hurting effects, and Found You Dio, the Fate card that will play a hero from the Fate deck, doesn't do anything because Dio isn't at a location yet because he hasn't moved off of his portrait. So, but still a strong character regardless. I'm not saying that he, like, prefers going second. I'm just saying it can be strong for him to go second. But, I'm not sure that Dio... I don't know how this matchup shakes out. I would assume that it's probably a little bit Dio favored because Fate spam... There are times where you want to spam some Fates onto Dio, and there are times where Yaldaboth can afford to Fate spam, but Yaldaboth does not like to Fate spam. Yaldaboth likes to go to Mementos every other turn, and then occasionally go to the Velvet Room when he has a good turn set up. We're going to see Azure go over to Japan, gain 1 and throw out a Joy and Fear. That will almost certainly trigger at some point. And then we're going to see 2 of the best girls of Persona 5. Noir's best girl. I'll fight you on it. On probably second place. I mean, best girl is Hifumi, but among the Phantom Thieves themselves, Noir number 1, Panther number 2. Hifumi best for sure if she's in contention. So we're going to see Naomi just take an immediate Mementos turn here and throw down Imposter. You'll typically see Yaldaboth go to Prison of Regression even when it's covered to gain 2 in Fate, but it looks like Naomi really wanted to get an early discard out there. And then Azure's hand is so bad that he's going to South Asia, which is not something that Dio players typically do because that location isn't great. And we're going to see there's actually no choice here other than play something or don't, where Azure is going to throw out Kenny G because he could not afford Chaka or Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice off the rip is crazy. Crazy indeed. So now, is Naomi going to go for a Fate here or hit up the Prison of Regression for that Fate? Or does Naomi maybe have a hand worth going to the Velvet Room? I doubt it. Really, what Yaldaboth does best in the early game is bounce between Mementos and Prison to stockpile power, slow down the opponent with Fates, and discard at Mementos. And then if you get to play some cards in the process, even better. We are going to see a Fate here, and unfortunately all it's going to do is put Kenny G down to 0. A little surprising. There must be a card that Naomi really wants to play here. Gonna get the Grail out to start gaining power. I probably still would have gone to Prison first and then tried to go to Mementos to do it, but I'm sure that Naomi is worried about Mementos being covered. But that's actually going to be not a whiff because it's going to put Joker on top with Wildcard. But not a very strong Fate here at all. Thank you, Doc, for positioning the tokens. I doubt he'll be watching this back. But now the Grail is only going to give 1 extra power to Naomi here before moving. And this early Grail means it's going to be very unlikely for Azure to get that Joy and Fear anytime soon. But mark my words, he will eventually get it, because at one point, Yaldaboth will go to the Velvet Room and spend 10 plus power. Naomi thinking hard about what to do here. Honestly, if you don't have cards to discard immediate or to play while at Mementos, I would probably just go for a Prison turn, get some Fate Fate momentum here. Going to throw Avdol down at the Middle East, which is good because we haven't seen any worlds yet from Azure, so covering the Middle East and stopping those big power swing gain turns would do well. And honestly, Naomi doesn't really want to get faded, but also Naomi doesn't really mind getting faded right now because it's just going to lead to more Holy Grail power. The way I think that this could work out best for Naomi is what Naomi really wants to do is stockpile up to 15 plus power, get the compendium out, discard all of her allies and whatnot, and have the cup boost up and then just really slow down and weaken Azure's game in the meanwhile. Oh, don't play him to South Asia. Don't play him to South Asia. I know that Azure went to South Asia earlier, but that was like an anomaly. Don't cover South Asia. Cover Middle East, or at least Egypt. Naomi, can you hear me? Cover Middle East. I'm speaking to you from beyond the grave. Naomi's putting a lot of thought into this, which is worrisome. Naomi takes a lot of time to think out turns, which again is a good thing to do. However, it has a serious drawback. Yeah, we're going to see a world turn here. It has a serious drawback. Oh, are we into Nukasaku? Oh, he wants to kill Avdol instead of get power here. Interesting. I don't hate it. It's very easy Devo the Cursed. Or a cameo wouldn't be bad here, but I would probably throw out Devo the Cursed. He's the only 1-3. She's the only 1-3. It's the only 1-3. It's a freak in nature. I'll call it whatever I want. Like, look at this. Look at this freak. That's a whatever I think of at the time as it's barreling towards me to end my life. And it is going to be cameo to get the draw 3. I don't disrespect it. Card draw is very nice for Dio. I think I personally might have gone with Devo, but again, I also don't play a ton of Yaldaboth. Losing Nukasaku there is a little unfortunate. Nukasaku is a very, very strong tool that Dio likes to keep on hand. Noir is already out. Yeah, so Nagaraja is safest at Velvet Room because you do not want to put Skull there. Double Aura, that's just going to kill Cameo. Could go ahead and kill Kenny G because his ability could protect something like Terrence or something later. Kenny G is basically going to sit there for the rest of the game unless Naomi kills him, and it looks like Naomi is going to do that. Honestly, I respect that play a lot. That will be the end of Naomi's turn. I was saying earlier, I am worried about how long Naomi takes with her turns, because unless she has her Yaldaboth turns down to a serious science, it will require a lot of time for her to take, like, when you go to the Velvet Room to do your big, like, swing turns, even for longtime players like Butter, who is probably the most skilled Yaldaboth player among our QA team, it still takes him, like, at least, like, 2 minutes to go through a Velvet Room turn properly. And it depends on how his game is set up, how his game is going. It might take him even longer. It could take him shorter, but it normally takes him at least 2 minutes. We're going to see Naomi just gain more power from the Holy Grail and then go gain power at Prison of Regression and go for another Fate. Found Dio wouldn't be terrible here. I think we already saw a fake Death Past earlier. Polnareff doesn't really do anything, especially this early in the game. But it's also not bad to play him here if you'd rather cover the Middle East, which I definitely think is a good idea. As well as wanting to be able to pull out Iggy or whoever. I think Iggy and Kakyoin are both still in here. We're going to see an I Can Feel Them to gain some power for Dio, and then a Sinful Shell to just nuke away 8 of that power. Honestly, that's not too bad for Naomi. Not too bad for Naomi to lose that 8 power now. It would have been a lot worse like 2 or 3 fates from now. Because now Naomi no longer has to worry. It would have been this turn, actually. This turn or next turn, if Sinful Shell hadn't already gone by, Naomi would have needed to start thinking, like, do I need to go take a Velvet Room turn now and spend a bunch of power because I could end up losing this at any moment? Like, I could end up losing, like, 10 plus power or whatnot. But now that Sinful Shell is already gone, now Naomi doesn't really have to worry about that. And because it's at least 5 fates away before Sinful Shell even has a chance of showing back up, Naomi can really just focus on building up power and getting an obscene amount. I think Naomi is debating potentially fading here right now. I really think that as long as she has Middle East covered, she should probably be going to Mementos. She's only 10 cards deep into her deck, which is not good for Yaldaboth, especially because we're already into, like, turn 5 or 6. She's not moving through her deck very fast, and that's really what Yaldaboth needs to do, is get through his deck fast, get down to where his deck is like 5-ish cards, 5 to 10 cards, needs to have like at least 4, you really want 6 or more, but at least 4 1-cost allies in the discard pile. We're going to see going over to Palaces and throwing out Rongda, not bad, and then we're going to see a fake death, putting Avdol, I was about to say, Avdol, honestly, I could have seen Joseph there. I could have seen a Joseph decision there, but Avdol is also very good. We're going to see Azure go back over to the Middle East. We're going to see another world turn. Is he going to try and get to 3 to punch Polnareff? He is indeed. Instead of getting a bunch of power, he's going to get to 3 to Clash Polnareff. And that is a very good Arabia Fats. Get a -1 on both of them, and then Clash with Polnareff. Not bad, not bad. And then we're back over to Naomi, who's going to gain 2, and then... It's not a bad Prison of Regression turn. Honestly, Prison of Regression, gain Power Fate, go to Mementos, discard bad cards, then maybe go to Palaces, or even potentially to Velvet Room after that. Or back to Prison. Star Platinum, that's going to be annoying. Azure's going to have to get rid of that. He's already lost a couple of worlds. I think there were 4 worlds in Dio's deck. He's used 2 of them. And he hasn't used them for power gain, which is annoying. We are going to see Skull put at the Velvet Room. Honestly, I still would have put him at Palaces just to take away Naomi's player cards. I think that was a bit of a misplay on Azure's part, but it gets rid of an ally, which is going to cost... I mean, the thing is getting rid of that Nagaraja, all it really does is it's going to cost Naomi one power when activating the Compendium, which isn't nothing, especially for Yaldaboth. A lot of stuff was done here. Another world play to do a Trivial Matter into getting Oingo Boingo, it looks as like what happens there, and then clashing Avdol. I think there's only 1 world left coming up to get rid of Star Platinum. I believe. You're going to see Naomi go over to Palaces. Going to throw out another ally. Throw out Compendium, maybe. Ooh, Justine. All right, getting the girls out. I don't think we've seen Lavenza restored yet, which is unfortunate for Naomi. And we're going to see a Kakyoin play to Middle East. Not Iggy. Interesting. I guess Greyfly is there to, like, do Greyfly things, but... Moving Iggy into South Asia probably would have been a little annoying. Yeah, Naomi's going to get a lot of power here. The real problem, again, is I play, deciding to do Iggy instead. Sometimes I wonder if they can hear me. Sometimes I wonder. But, I am still worried for how this is going to go for Naomi in the long run because she is just not getting through this Yaldaboth deck quickly. And as we can see, even though Naomi is putting on a lot of fate pressure, slowly but surely, that's going to have to be Enya the Hag, if anything, slowly but surely, Azure is building up more and more things. Jotaro's at -1. He's got Oingo and Boingo now. He's got Cameo and Arabia Fat set up. He was able to kill Iggy easily. Wildcard into killing Rongda. I just don't see that. Yeah, I was about to say, I just don't see that as worth it. Make it where Naomi can't keep the cup and keep playing cards. Yeah, that's like way more damaging. I still think that he should have put Skull there in the first place, to be honest. I guess the main reason for putting Skull there was to stop, like, the fusion into Akechi. We're finally going to see a Mementos turn from Naomi. What is Naomi getting rid of here? The big thing we could see from Naomi coming up soon is a lot of Rays of Control with all this power. Well, there's Lavenza restored. Honestly, I would have played Lavenza restored. In this board state with how things are going for Naomi, Naomi is already so, like, behind pace compared to Dio. It's hard to tell with Yaldaboth, and it's definitely possible that Naomi could do some crazy stuff and prove me wrong. But, like, Naomi is certainly on the back. Oh, we're gonna do Sai. All right, here we go. It's all that Naomi knows how to do is to play the gambling characters. All she knows how to do is gamble. Merrick, Aizen. Now we're doing Sai and Yaldaboth. Who did she play just before this? Tetsuo. She gambled with Tetsuo's deck order. Oh, using Rongda to... Oh, they did this in the wrong order. You're supposed to do Sai first. No way to know if it would have mattered or not, but... oh, no, wait, no, are they both after? Oh, no, Sai is also after. Never mind, my bad. They did do it in the right order. My mistake. Ah, unfortunate. Unfortunate not to get the 2 in a row there. Had pretty good odds for it. I think it was probably about 50-50. It's probably more like 60-40. I just don't know in what direction. A little bit of power gain, a little bit of fate pressure. There is no longer a cup. Yeah, throw her right back to Prison of Regression, probably. Yep. No fading allowed. This is going to allow another immediate Velvet Room turn. Naomi really needs to start throwing out some Rays of Control. And putting Electric Chair somewhere that isn't the Velvet Room. This hurts my soul. Are we going to see another fusion here? We are indeed. Ooh, Kamoshida. This is the exact situation you want to see Kamoshida in. That is one buff cat. I hate it. Kamoshida already at 8. The problem here is that Naomi, because her territory is as messed up as it is, she is not well suited to be moving stuff. She really needs to draw into Rays of Control and Cerberus and start just absolutely blowing up these heroes. Akechi would also help to that end. But what she really needs is Rays of Control. Is that Madarame that just got shuffled back in? Madarame plus Kamoshida in this board state would go crazy. The problem is that getting the move actions is not going to be easy. Do not put another hero at... Thank you. Thank you for not putting another hero at... Honestly, I might have... With Joker out like this, I probably would have put Panther at Kamoshida, to be real with you. Because, like, who cares about weakening Sai here? Now Sai is just like a punch fodder. He gets to draw to 5 because of Oingo and Boingo. So he's gotten through a reshuffle. I think he has a world in hand because I think we only saw 3 of the 4. I think there are 4 worlds. There might only be 3. I think there are 4, though. So he does still really want to get rid of Star Platinum. We're going to see Naomi just gain 2 in Fate this turn. Good timing on Found You, Dio, all things considered. Sucks not to be able to put the hero at, like, Middle East or Egypt or what have you, but... is good to put them at Jotaro. And it will be Avdol. Also, I see we have 2 Joy and Fears. Those cards are going to be out of the game for a while. Using the world to gain power. I guess he is expecting to, like, draw back into, like, 3 more now. I mean, now's a good time to get rid of Star Platinum. It's not going to come back around for a while. Honestly, Nena on Avdol just to punch with Cameo wouldn't be bad. But also getting Whole... I mean, Whole Horse also punches now that I think about it. So yeah, probably Whole Horse because then you keep Cameo. It's worth the 1 more power to use Whole Horse to get the Avdol kill. Because then you keep Cameo for punching Jotaro. It's probably what I would do. He is going to do it the Nena Cameo way. Or he might not do the Vanquish, actually. He might just go over there and try and play 2. Yeah, I think he's going to go over there and try and play 2 cards to punch instead, which is also very fair. And of course, we're going to see Naomi is going to be going to the Velvet Room basically every other turn until she is at like 10 or less power. So we're going to see a Compendium play and then an Activate. Wow, wow, wow. I think you have to use Cerberus to kill Panther here. Leaving Panther out means that Joker wildcards... Oh, we're going to see the Shido play straight to the prison. That's insane. I act like that's an unheard of thing. It's not unheard of, but... My oh my, it is quite a play. I don't envy Doc having to keep track of how much power this costs. Word of advice, kids. When you play Yaldaboth, keep your allies in a separate discard pile so you can easily find them. And then I'm just going to assume that that was the correct amount of power. This is going to trigger the Joy and Fears. I would have Cerberus kill Panther because wild cards will replay Panther. And honestly, killing Kopatengu here wouldn't be bad either. Yep. Oh, right, but Oracle's out, which is unfortunate. But can very easily sacrifice Sai to the Panther kill now. Wouldn't mind doing that at all. What is... Oh, Kopatengu. I was thinking to myself, like, what is happening? Naomi is resolving all of... This is what I meant earlier by Naomi has to be careful and make sure that she has enough turns. Definitely want to boost Queen. You want to kill Panther at your earliest opportunity. We are going to see a Rays of Control, which that will kill Panther or Mona, and I would most certainly pick Panther in that situation and then weaken everyone else. 2 Joined Fears, there's going to be Jay Giel. And Alessi. Ooh. Very good pulls. The Alessi especially. So we are going to see Azure go over to Japan, which is going to trigger Meet with Ruin, which is very good for Naomi. Unfortunately, Sai is not going to be... No, Sai is going to be strong enough after the raise. So Naomi is going to get to kill Panther and use Sai to kill Queen to get a Palace's turn and keep moving Kamoshida. Maybe fuse in whoever it is I'm thinking of. Maybe fuse in Madarame. Madarame plus Kamoshida would be really good here, and Shido is in position. And then Azura has to use a wild card just to move Joker to prison to mess that up. What are we going to see vampirismed out here? It's easy. Just picking something cheap with strength, I guess. Just picking a 1-2. Honestly? Kopatengu. Why Kopatengu? That's not where Nena goes. Is just going to clash Avdol there. He heard me. He heard me again. Sai kills Queen here no matter what. Unless you weaken her. But then she's going to die to Kopatengu. Queen is dead. You're not saving Queen. You may as well weaken Kamoshida. There's no saving Queen with this setup. Queen and Panther are both dead at the end of this turn. Shido getting -1 is, of course, annoying, but it's not the end of the world because it's just one Gallows, and that fixes Joker, and if Joker gets moved here, Shido being at +1 would negate Joker. So this is a really good turn for Naomi. Just, it looks like only has to use Sai and is going to choose only to use Sai, kill Queen. Are we going to see a Madarame, like, fuse with Nagaraja, move into Kamoshida, then move Kamoshida? Or are we just going to do a Kamoshida move? Or are we going to see, like, a play of Okumura would also be good here? I think Madarame is the best possible Palace ruler for Naomi right now. But, and there he is. I was going to say it's the best option with this setup, but I also could have seen going with the classic Okumura. So that's going to be the Nagaraja move, which means Madarame steals one from Kamoshida. You really don't mind Kamoshida losing any right here. And we are going to see another fuse for Okumura, just as a backup, I assume. And then still has a normal move action. Oh, Fate first. Kakyoin. I don't know. I might have still covered the Middle East, but covering Egypt is definitely good here. Really just wants to not be getting faded. Ooh, don't forget about you have one more move. You need every move you can get right now. I would just move Kamoshida. Because you used a Nagaraja move after the Madarame play to move Madarame, so you have the normal Palaces move, I'm pretty certain. I think it's got to be Kamoshida. It's Kamoshida, and if you don't want Madarame to take too much from Kamoshida, then you move Kamoshida again next before moving Madarame. The problem here is that a Gallows is going to be needed, and also Naomi is playing against Dio, who is a Fate monster. We are going to see the trigger for the Meet with Ruin here. Road Roller for the free kill. Realized Netta was in the wrong spot. So that's a free ZZ kill on Kakyoin because he's at 0 with the Road Roller. I feel like double wild card. You kind of have to play Joker to the far right here, which is not great, actually. Playing Joker, this is not a strong Fate. Gonna do the cat to move to prison. I don't know. Not having Joker in position, and that was both wild cards. It is Dio, though, and Dio can fade a lot back-to-back, so he can get a reshuffle and try and get back to wild card really quickly. Naomi really wants to clean up some more of these heroes. Honestly, I could see doing an Okumura into Mona kill here. Just to try to get a little more Fate momentum. Get a card to play. Although this is, well, looking at this, actually, you might want to do a Velvet Room turn, because it might be your last good opportunity for one before the reshuffle. Lot to think about here. I think it's very possible. I know some of you are probably thinking, like, Jotaro hasn't even moved once, even though he's set up for a quick kill soon. Dio can move Jotaro through Middle East and Egypt to Egypt really, really quickly. And he has a lot of cards set up, most especially Oingo and Boingo, who give him give him very strong. Honestly, another reason I would go for the Fate turn by like just giving up Okumura to Mona here is to get my hands on Restoration. A Restoration play on Jotaro would go so hard here. It would be a very strong Restoration. But with this much setup, and especially with the Oingo and Boingo giving him a hand size of 5, Azure can move through killing Jotaro very quickly here. He can get him across super fast. I think that the way that Naomi can win this is Naomi needs to get Kamoshida and Madarame to the prison in the next, like, 3 turns. I don't know what these fates are. I think there might be one more all-out attack. Panther and an all-out attack, I'm fairly certain, are in the discard. I think Fox might be in the discard, too. We are going to see that in the end, Naomi is going to go for the Velvet Room turn. I think this is good because I was about to say Kopatengu and Nagaraja are in there. So, yeah, actually, thinking on it further, this is definitely the play to do. And you can get the Mona kill with Cerberus. Yeah. This is definitely the play. Definitely the play. I don't think that the Palaces, like, get a Fate trying to get the Restoration on Jotaro would have been bad, but the more I talked it out in my head, and this is why it's really good to take your time with turns like Naomi was doing, the more I thought in my head, I was like, the way that you win this, especially if both wild cards and Panther are in the discard and Joker's out of position, the way you win this is you get Madarame and Kamoshida to the far right in the next, like, 2 turns, and then you Gallows. You Gallows Shido, and then it's game. Well, it's not game. You'll have to kill everything, but killing everything in Showdown is super easy for Yaldaboth. Looks like Rongda's going to be the last one. Probably wants to shuffle back in something like Kopatengu. We're going to see Cerberus kill into Mona. Could actually kill Noir here, I'm realizing. Killing into Noir might even be better. But getting the Palace has the move action and the Fate, so I also understand that. Kopatengu move. Yeah, I think it's Kamoshida first. I think you don't move Okumura. You got to get Madarame and Kamoshida over there. I think you move Kamoshida over, let him gain his 1. You fuse something with, like, Nagaraja and Rongda, I guess, and then you push Madarame over. He's going to take that extra 1, and then you're really going to need that Gallows. Ooh, oh, man, this is going to be... Ooh, boy. I'm very interested to see how this goes. Oh, and into Pixie, if Naomi has another card to play here to, get rid of Pixie and then shuffle in Kopatengu, that would be very strong. Yeah, so gonna get the Rongda shuffle and like an extra power, and it is gonna be Akechi here, which is very good. So Akechi can open up Palaces and keep it open for that extra Fate power. I think there's plenty that could go wrong for Naomi here. I don't remember exactly what these last 3 cards in the Fate deck are. So there's definitely some stuff that could go wrong for Naomi here. But it's looking pretty good. The problem is I think there's an all-out attack, and an all-out attack means that 1 Gallows will not fix an all-out attack. The solution to that is either trying to get Okumura over there as well, if you can get enough moves, or you have to do like a shuffle back, like move Kamoshida or Madarame like back out and then back in some fashion. Oh, by the way, you definitely kill Mona with Cerberus, not Noir, because you need Noir for the Kamoshida points. That slipped my mind. There's a lot with Yaldaboth. There is a lot. It is a difficult character to pilot. Very difficult. Nami is putting in a lot of thought here. I am getting a little worried. 11 minutes doesn't seem like a small amount, but you can see how long this turn alone is taking. It could go... It could go. It could go for a while. You know, it just occurred to me that I might have misscheduled, or I might have not scheduled all the videos and there's the Gallows. So Gallows is in position now. Can not play any cards, and then as long as Levin's Restore doesn't happen, which I think it's in the discard, can go back. And we see what's going to happen here is there's finally the world. Oh, the world's being played and used to gain power. You really got to get rid of Star Platinum, brother. Here's Pet Shop. Steely Dan. So Mariah or Pet Shop here. Probably Pet Shop. Mariah's good too. Thinking about it. It's a tough pick between the two of them. Both good. Backwards on discard deck. I hate it. Is that enough? 4. That's 4 to 5. That's... Oh, Jay Giel has to go. Yeah. Yeah, it's 5 strength. Doesn't have to give up quite that many, but chose to give them all up. That moves Jotaro over, and that's a 9 strength Jotaro. I'm not so sure about leaving that Star Platinum. You gotta get rid of that, brother. But also what he really wants right now is Fate Pressure. So, I mean, Naomi's gotta go to Palaces here. The question is if Naomi plays a card or saves the play. Naomi can set up Showdown here if Azure doesn't pull all-out attack. I think one of these 3 cards is all-out attack, and the game could literally come down to if he pulls it or not. Because if Naomi goes to Palaces, moves Madarame in, then just has to go and, like, Gallows Okumura or who have you to get Shido back up to 8 or higher. And that's game. The question is if Naomi plays a card while at Palaces, which triggers a reshuffle. The reshuffle doesn't really matter here because if Naomi wants to win this way, Naomi is going to have to use the activate on Gallows to get Shido back up. Naomi might be trying to figure out if there's a way to win this turn. I'm not sure there is, but I could be wrong. Oh, we're going to see a Vanquish. Yeah, doesn't care about Okumura's strength at this point. Oh, maybe deciding to keep the strength on Okumura? Moving. Ooh, no. I don't know about this. I don't want to say it's a throw, but I don't feel good about it. Because you really need to move. If you move Madarame in, then you're set up to go. Did you just delete Justine by mistake? Just deleted Justine by mistake? Rewind 10 seconds. That was enough. There we go. I think they just accidentally deleted Justine and didn't know what to do. Rewinding the clock by 10 was the answer. I'm pretty sure they could have done that promoted. I'm not sure. They might have needed me to do it. Either way, it's fixed now. Accidentally still had Justine selected while deleting the token. I really don't like that Okumura move. I really would have moved in Madarame, taken the token from Kamoshida, and done it. Because then you have a chance to win if he doesn't pull all out attack. I might be remembering the Fate deck wrong, though. It might be guaranteed. I don't know. You gotta just be covering the top Fate here. Because you just need a minute. You just need like 1 second to get that one moment. I also don't know why Naomi even took the time to kill... I mean, I guess just because it was the only kill on the board, right? But I don't know why even take the time to, like, kill Skull, really. I definitely would have let Okumura lost one and tried to set up game. Might still have game set up at Velvet Room anyway, which would be fair. We're going to see Devo the Cursed here, which is going to allow the Joseph kill to use the top Fate. And then move ZZ all the way to Jotaro, because that's how his ability works. And did get the all-out attack, unfortunately, so Kamoshida and Madarame are the ones to hit with that for sure. So now when Madarame moves in, he messes up Kamoshida being at a high enough. Oh, no, wait. No, I think it's game. Well, not game. No, it's gonna be game, basically. Go here. I think you have Kopatengu in hand. Go here. Activate Gallows on Akechi or Okumura. It doesn't matter. Probably Akechi because Okumura is in a better position for killing. Probably still Okumura and move over Akechi. I think that, I don't know if Naomi's going to see it, but I think Naomi has it in hand. You go to the far left. You Gallows Kamoshida. He goes up to +1. He's at 9. Then you play Kopatengu. You move Madarame in. Take the +1 off of Shido, and you have 8 on everyone. Oh, please see it, Naomi. I want to see this Yaldaboth win. Nothing against Azure at all, but I want to see the Yaldaboth win. I want to see it. I love Persona 5. I definitely like playing personally on my own, your own opinions and all. I like playing Yaldaboth a lot more than Dio, so I would love to see this one. No, you have to Gallows first. No, Naomi, you had it on board. No. Oh, wait, did Naomi realize? And then okay, did it weird. You didn't have to do it that way, but it did it. It did it. Oh, baby. And now you just start going to Palaces, ripping off kills and then going between prison and Palaces. Ooh, the game's not over because Dio can do a lot, but the fact that Star Platinum is still out, I think means that Azure is in an awful position. and he's still not getting rid of it. I definitely think it might not have changed the game. It would have been a very different game if he had taken a turn to do that differently. But I definitely think not getting rid of Star Platinum is a contributing factor to him. Okay, he's going to get rid of it now. He did finally. But still, leaving it as long as he did, I don't know. He only did 1 kill through it is the thing. But even just 1 kill through it instead of getting rid of it earlier, I think was a mistake. All right, he has enough strength there to kill Jotaro. But he has only played 3 cards, I think. He played a World and then Trivial Matter and then played out Captain Tennille with the Trivial Matter. So he's not going to be able to clash Jotaro. He honestly, like, if he... To really have a chance at winning this game, he has to clash Jotaro this turn. He's not going to do it, and he's not going to hit Jotaro this turn either because that'll put Jotaro at Middle East, which will make it even harder for him to get the advantage. What I would call it at this point is that this is Niami's game to lose. I would move Shido in here and kill Joker with Shido, probably. So that way you have Mementos open to be able to gain 3 power and play Rays of Control. Fusing Kanashiro? Needs 1 power for something? Is getting 1 power going to allow some kind of play to pull this off? No, it's just going to play Meet with Ruin. Yeah, move Shido in and kill Joker. I don't know. That was a weird... I'll do it with Madarame, whatever. It doesn't matter. Shido would have been more canon. I'm just saying. But still, the fuse was a little weird to me, but still not doing anything too bad. That was What a Pain, I think, and Aura. Gonna choose to just Aura Mariah because her hero moving ability is very strong. 6 minutes left. That's definitely enough time to... This is brain dead Yaldaboth hour. You have to put in a little bit of thought of like when to use Rays and when to use Cerberus, but you don't have to put in a lot of thought here. We also see that we have Electric Chair here, so we could see Niami do a very good... an Electric Chair into a Laser Beam turn, into Rays of Control. Really wants to draw Cerberus. Get Cerberus into rotation with Compendium is also nice. Honestly, it's really scary because this game, like, Dio can turn this game over in a second, but it might be a turn to go to Mementos and get power. Gonna fuse Shido and Okuma, what are you doing? Really needs power for something. A lot of fusing. What the? Fusing into Rays? And then doing... Oh, double Rays? Is this a double Rays? God of Control Rays? That's so hype! That is so incredible. All right, well, that's game on board because God of Control means that Niami can now clash anything ever. And that fate will buy 1 turn. So what's going to happen is Niami is going to be able to go to prison, laser beams blow up Mona, go to prison, fate gain 2, and punch Noir. And Azure has to win next turn. Azure has to win next turn, basically. The only thing that could get him out of this is Sinful Shell getting rid of God of Control. But I think even if he does that on his next fate, it's probably over. There's probably, like... Sinful Shell is the best shot because it stops the clashing and the replaying of Rays, but even if that happens, I think it's most likely over for Azure. Oh, we are going to see the Jotaro kill and move him into Middle East here, and then move Captain Tennille over. It's going to be very rough with Middle East covered to make progress here. Rays of Control is replayed by God of Control. We had someone ask, why does God of Control exist in this deck when it's so hard to work in... Yeah, it's just going to be Punch Nuke Saku, take away those extra card plays. And whatnot. This is why. Moments like this. It can, you know, wrap up the game. So he has to go to Japan because Queen is dead. The only thing that stops the win here is Sinful Shell, and he did get it. Which is going to put it back in hand. Oh, no, but that's still game because Rays of Control would just kill Queen. I didn't even think about the fact that Rays of Control would still be out. So yeah, that's just game. What a Yaldaboth game by Niami. I was really worried in the first half where she wasn't doing enough... I didn't feel like she was doing enough cycling of her hand and all, but she really made it work in the late game. She did masterfully at pushing through once she got to that low end, making great use of Kamoshida and other card I'm thinking of. Kamoshida and Madarame to get it through there. And that double wild card pull that happened where Azure pulled it, that gave Niami the opening to just push through to the end, because if a wild card had still been in there to move Joker or do some other fancy shenanigans, it could have been, stuff could have been a lot different. But Joker never getting into position really I think that turn Azure decided to like move Mona and do something with Mona instead. I think that was definitely a mistake on his part. You really need, seeing that it was both wild cards and that there were like 5 more fates to go, really needed to put Joker at prison to cause a lot more trouble for Naomi, and just didn't do that, unfortunately, and that gave her the opening to really push through at the end there. I think that was one of the plays that like made a big difference in the game and all that. But yeah, great game from both players regardless. Jotaro unfortunately couldn't get him quite over fast enough, but still really good. He played very defensively, keeping a lot of pressure on Yaldaboth, but unfortunately Naomi was just able to really push through it, especially with how it shook out at the end there. But great stuff from both players. In seeing Tetsuo and seeing a Tetsuo and a Yaldaboth dub, that is fantastic. I love to have that in a tournament arc. That is great. Thank you for that, Naomi. But great from both players. And let's go take a look at the bracket. And so with that 2-1 victory, we will see Naomi moving on in the bracket to face Egg. We now have our second round 2 matchup confirmed. First is Kodake versus Doc, and then now we have Naomi versus Egg, although they might not happen in that order. It depends on how scheduling goes. But great games from Naomi and Azure, just incredible stuff from both sides. Some really I'm going to say like out-of-pocket picks from Naomi, some games you wouldn't have expected to see people bringing into tournament arc, not really the usual suspects, as it were, that we see a lot of people play. So great work from Naomi, and good games from Azure as well, but unfortunately Naomi just managed to eke him out and move on to the next round. Azure has been around for a long while. I'm sure we'll see him in future tournaments. Good stuff, man. See you in the next one. But for now, it'll be Naomi moving on to face Egg, which also promises to be another very heavyweight match between two of the community's best players, I would say. So again, very much looking forward to that one, which we'll be seeing hopefully very soon. But until then, we'll call it here, and I'll see you all next time for the next round 1 game, as we have 3 more to go until we get into round 2. Until then, farewell.